All right, everybody. We are joined in here in middle, a little late in the action. Let me get this thing set up here. Oh, should be moving up farther. So, welcome. We are pretty late in the matchup here. Apologies for the long delay in the action, but we have begun. What is going to be our big second half broadcast. Admittedly, the first half was not possible due to an event I was doing running late. But nonetheless, we are finally going properly. And now it's about to be going. There we go. That's moving at a perfect pace there. We are basically synced up with the match. So, right now, we are watching North Carolina and Houston. Courage and Dash been going at it for a good bit here. Was not planning to start with this one. I did have Houston and San Diego and Denver scheduled, and we will come back to that when this thing finishes up. But since I'd already run behind as is, I figured this game's farther along and it's actually closer. Denver has surprised everyone here by bringing in an extra, by putting in an extra goal. They're currently leading 2-0. But I do have both. I've got them both up and available. And so, yeah, I've got both games up on screen right now. I will give you any updates I see with San Diego and Denver, but they are currently not the active game. At this current moment, they haven't kicked off. Which is good. That gives us a chance to focus in on what should be a very important game in the standings if North Carolina can hold, because this would be quite the statement for them if they can pull this off. It would get them right back into the top 8 fairly comfortably, or at least it would put them in the mix. Whereas with Houston, this is supposed to be one of those moments where they're going to more legitimize themselves, and right now this one appears to have been derailed. So, yeah, I'm curious where this is going. I do have this thing headphoned as well. Make sure I got everything plugged in there. Don't have sound coming in at the moment. Yeah, try to see what is going on the speaker side. Alright. So, okay. Finally got it going, but it is cacophonous. I will say, Houston Stadium, despite the fact that they've had a hot start, is not going well. Oh no, we got a red card coming. And a possible injury on the part of the Houston Dash. So let's see what the play was here. But yeah, no, they immediately went red card. So North Carolina's be going 11 on, is going to have to be at a 10 on 11 disadvantage for the last probably 13 minutes of the match, in addition to whatever extra time on top of it. Stiegel, she slides in. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, Klee was up charged straight at, what was I, Colapinto? Yeah, she loses the ball, slides to go after it, but is so far late that she only gets leg. Like, it is nothing but, yeah, this was a pretty blatantly obvious one. So Ali Schlegel is going to have to exit the match, and that's going to be it's going to be 10 versus 11 here. So let's see here. All right, so okay. There appears to be some issues on the stream side. In any case, I am recording this, so it will go up. But yeah, this might look a little messy for you if you're not able to see. I do apologize if you're trying to maintain it. We'll see what's going on with that when we get onward to other things here. But for the time being, I am going to run it. Yeah, I'll close that up. Okay. So yeah, it's still running. Colaprico is the name. Yeah, so this is the first time I've gotten to really look at Carolina other than highlights. Which is something because I had seen them last year, and so I was kind of operating a lot on what I'd seen the previous year. And I feel like we're in a line. So we do have a substitution happening. In order to buy some time. So let's see here. So it's Carly Wickenheiser going in for Okafor. That's number 8 from North Carolina, exiting number 14 coming in. I'm guessing that is to set them in a more defensive position, because you're going to almost definitely need to put that under control now. Yeah, these are both... So, yeah, since both matches are active, we'll go into what's going on with both. But certainly been an interesting week here coming back. First, yeah, we had Racing Louisville come up with a win over Orlando. So finally putting that offense to use. Washington finally clicked and got a 4-0 win over Kansas City. Gotham offense finally started clicking, 3-0 over Bay. Chicago got a 2-0 win over Boston. It's been a big home team favored run. Even Denver with this 2-0 lead over San Diego. But now, as we are in the 81st minute, we've got North Carolina being the first visiting team to actually manage a lead today. So we'll see if they hold on. Definitely seems like the break has been more favorable to the teams who were at least able to play within their friendly confines. But Houston, I do see with very few people seated beyond like the main lower section, the home field advantage is not anywhere near as strong here. All right, so we got a kick coming from the Carolina goalkeeper. So since I'm joined midway through, I don't have all the lineups in front of me, nor do I have the substitutions directly lined up. So I'm just going to go with what I'm seeing here. North Carolina is making a press forward. Appears their midfielder has run up. Took it all the way to the corner flag, but kept it in. And then sends it back into the backfield. Backfield is running it, expanding the field again. Everyone was well ahead of the circle. But now, it's a dead center of the field. It's in the attacking zone. They've been now kicking it back, letting the backs take control of the ball a little bit more. But a bad pass from the right back sends it out of bounds. And so now Dash are back in charge of it. There does appear to be a little bit of time pressure on Houston's part. They know they need to get a goal. And so they might be trying to make more plays happen than they're usually more comfortable doing. I do wonder how this is going to affect them, because they are not a team who I've noticed has had a lot of opportunities to play from behind and been super successful with it. They have shown they can come back. They responded pretty well against Angel City, but that was still in a losing effort. So it's not something where they can make the comeback and then also maintain. It's a big transitional process for them. There's been a lot of dead balls. In case you're wondering why there's not a lot being said, it's because there's been a lot of dead balls, and now we have another Dash player who had kind of fallen over. It's been a lot of breaks here since we've been going. Yep, it was Van Zant, by the way. She is one of the main offensive drivers on this team. So obviously a lot riding on her continued ability to play here. They're going to sub her out, though. Van Zanten's coming out. Bright will come in. Number 6 for number 12. So now Houston's playing a little bit down themselves. They do have 11 players, but their main attacking weapon will not be on the field. We'll see what Messiah Bright can do. All right, the backfield is going. Houston's got it on offense. So far, the backs have been in control of it. Kicking it up. Midfield pops it out to the side. They're able to keep it in. Ball is still in play, and the cross gets deflected right back to her. Raider takes it. She puts it into the box. Patterson was trying to do a full cross. Bright was right next to the goalkeeper, ready to head it in. But when the keeper's able to read it that easily, there's no shot it's actually going to make it to the head. Yeah, she ripped that straight out of the air. Ball's still in Houston's possession, though, even after the long ball. North Carolina finally seizes a little bit of control with it. There went Manaka. She sends it back. Kicks it all the way back to the keeper. Ball gets deflected. It was hurried, and Houston was able to get it deflected. They weren't able to seize control, but the ball remains in their attacking zone. Manaka thought she was getting a free kick there. It looks like it's going to stay in Houston's possession, though. She looks upset. So here we go. Once again, Houston on the attack just outside their box. North Carolina has been extremely apt defensively on this possession. Good deflection there. Raider gets it again. Pops it towards goal right from the very edge of the box. Was not able to bring it in. There was no bend to the ball, and it just floated out. I am very curious how much time they're going to add on to this thing. All right, I'm going to back out of the match real quick. The Denver... Main reason being I'm trying to give this thing a little more bandwidth. Trying to stream 2 games and stream myself is a little bit too intense on the PC. So there we go. Now it looks like it's running a lot better. I'll switch back to it once this one finishes. We're about 88 minutes in anyway. So this would, tighten the standings up considerably. North Carolina would only be a point behind Houston with the victory, obviously. So we'll see what they can do. The defense has tightened up a lot now that they're down to 10, and there really hasn't been a desire to attack. So we'll see if that ends up enough. Oh! Bright actually managed to get a header off of that cross. I was actually surprised she was able to make contact, but it was not solid enough, and it just floated above the goal. Now Manaka falls down, and she's grabbing her ankle. We'll see if ends up being a stall tactic or whether she's actually hurt. We're about to be done with the 89th minute. Patterson getting water. So many pauses here. It sounds like there was a marching band in here. Like, I don't hear a lot of fans, but I hear somebody, like a group that sounds like the University of Houston marching band has shown up here. They are doing a VAR. They are going to add a lot of time to this. Even if I haven't seen how many stops there were before tuning in here at about the 70th minute. But just in the 20 minutes I've been watching, there have been so many stops. There's no way to get a flow of the game when you're doing this. So here we go. Yeah, they're on a straight up water break right now with 10 seconds left in regular time. We are going to get a lot of minutes added right now. I'm curious how much it's going to be. Well, they're going to tell us right now. We are done with the first 90. 8. They're adding 8. Realistically, they're probably adding closer to a 9th because they still really haven't started doing anything. But they got Monica. Looks like they have to be substituting her. Because she's exiting the box. And I do not think it's wise to go 11 on 9 if you can avoid it, even if it's for a brief period. Oh, I didn't even realize that. So they used all 3 windows. Yeah, I'm listening to commentary right now as well. So there are enough substitutions earlier in the match that all 3 sub windows have been used. So Monica cannot come out. So here we go. 91.5 minutes in. Still nothing yet. No real open threats here. Just free kicks in place. North Carolina keeper just launches it. And at this point, I don't even think North Carolina's making a serious play to score. They're just trying to push the ball as far forward as possible. So far, San Diego immediately this half got a goal. Leah Godfrey in the 49th minute. Kessler, by the way, for Denver was the first score, and Flint was the second goal. So 16 and 32nd. Now in the 49th, we have Godfrey. So they almost did it in perfect 16-minute increments, these first 3 goals. We got 2-1 at the moment. They are over 50 minutes into the match. We will switch over to that once this one concludes, which looks to me like we're in it for another 7 minutes, I would guess. We're already 92 in, but there was so much not happening. And I'm just going to keep it at 90 at the moment because I will have to switch the scoreboard. $93 into the match. I'll keep tabs on the time in case you need the syncing. We are 93:02. Houston Raider passes it in across the box. Henderson tries to send it back in. Ooh, deflected, and a clearing kick from Bell goes straight into her head. When she was trying to send it in, the clearing pass was directed right back in the same direction. So let me see here. Ooh. She was grabbing her head. I don't think she's out, but they are checking her, which means this is going to run longer. This medical crew is the real MVP here. They're the only ones that are in a flow right now, which is not good for Houston. You can't generate anything off of these dead balls unless you happen to get fortunate enough to find a clean kick. Like, you have to get like a corner and just run off a set play. Because without a flow, you're not going to really be able to generate an opportunity in free play. So Maggie Graham's doing some sprints, looking like she might be able to. But actually, the doctors are following her. They've got her going in. Do they need to have her go to protocol? Or are they going to have to use a sub window? Well, that's concerning. They're just having her be on the sideline and check on her, but Sheridan from North Carolina, the keeper, doing another drop kick. Let's put it back into play. Graham is back on the field and immediately heads the ball, so guess that tells me she's fine. At least maybe it's wishful thinking on my part. The deflections are going really hard with North Carolina. Marcy's going to be the corner kicker. Does not even try to send it into the box, just does a pass. And it actually works out for North Carolina because they're able to make a play right off the ball. They'll try this again. Raider tried to get there, but slipped and lost control of the ball. So once again, North Carolina just dumps it. This basically feels like a power play in hockey. Like, there's no attempt to actually score. They're just kicking it as far away as they can manage. And a whistle is blown as the Houston goalkeeper gets the ball. We got a cramp on Raiders' part, or at the... So the slip... Oh, I think the slip was because her muscle locked up. She's having a massive cramp, and they're trying to stretch it. Yeah. No, there's a knot. I have had one of those. That is unpleasant. That is going to be a result of the heat here. As we are starting to get into the warmer months, I'm sure that's going to become an increasing issue in places like Houston, humid areas like Orlando, even places just in the California area, especially San Diego and Los Angeles. Now, I will say, because I'm going to have to do an extra bit in the podcast this week and another video to cover a couple big things that have happened in the league here. One of them being the announcement of the 18th team, which everyone knew was coming because Atlanta coming in 2 years was going to set the league uneven. So they were going to have an 18th. But I have some opinions. And additionally, there's also the continued talk that the league wants to go to the traditional fall to spring format, which I think is at the behest of TV, because they want the playoffs to be running in like the dead period. Oh, we do have a substitution happening. Harden's coming in for Houston. She'll replace Raider as more injuries continue. But by the way, we're at 97:55 right now. This is going to be... So we are officially done with the 8-minute window. But the problem is so much of it has been spent with people hurt. I have no idea when they're actually going to blow this whistle. In other news, San Diego leveled that game. Kennedy Wesley in the 57th minute. We're now at 2-2. So yeah, this is a mystery here. But yeah, the fall to spring thing, I'll bring it up then, but like I know it would also be to eliminate stuff with the heat of the warm months by not having games in summer. But the problem is there's very different climates across the United States. Like, you would still run into the issue of winter having obscenely cold environments. Oh, Houston had the ball with basically no North Carolina players actually able to get control of it. The two of them were, so you had two Houston players passing it, but no one could get the footing for a shot, and the ball just ended up harmlessly kicked out by the Carolina defender eventually. But you do have some fresh players now, so let's see if Houston, this helps them. This game is functionally a black box because I have no idea how much of the 8 minutes has actually been counted. I know we played at least 2 continuous minutes. So at most, this could go, I think, to the 104-minute mark. And we're about to hit 100. Here comes another kick. As Carolina continues their desperate push with 10 to stay in the mix. If this result was to hold, this would put Carolina back at a equal goal differential. But it's still weaker than Gotham at +1, Orlando at +2. So they would be 9th in the standings, possibly 10th if Denver could regain the lead here. Right. Patterson tries to launch it. They were trying to get a header, but Sheridan was reading it perfectly and just, it was a can of corn. She drop kicks. She was trying to delay it, but I guess they've been called once for a violation, holding on the ball for too long. So a very dangerous prospect there. Oh, Bright actually might be able to seize control and get a shot. But it was deflected by the Carolina defense. And that's going to be a corner kick here at 101:30. As this is a scoring threat, they're not going to blow the whistle at this point. So here's the corner. Will there be a kick? Too high. Bright had it on her foot. But she could not push it forward. It just hooked onto the top of her shin. And the ball just floats above the net. And again, that does make you wonder if the substitutions didn't have to happen. If it had been Kiki Van Zanten in that position, does it go in? This has been a war of attrition, it feels like, in terms of just dealing with the weather. They still haven't called it. We're at 102:20. As I said, I would expect at most 104. So it is at some point. We are going to be running out of time here. Houston's got it in their back line, but that's still in the attacking zone. Colaprico tried to chase it down. Like, the ball just rolled into no man's land, and no one chased it. Patterson tried to feed Bright, but it was not to be. Jackson from Carolina has it. Is just trying to sprint the ball up ahead as much as possible. And is now sitting on the clock. And there it is at 103:08. They finally blow the whistle. And the Courage finally showing a glimpse of what I thought they could be. Ashley Sanchez getting the one and only goal in this match. That being a long time ago. That was back when I was not watching this. It was in the 42nd minute. But yeah, that's a big feather in the cap of North Carolina. Not enough to get them in the top 8 for the week. In fact, it might not even be enough to get them in the top 9. Actually, if Utah is able to win tomorrow, it wouldn't even be enough to get them in the top 10. But it's putting them back in the mix here. All right, so I'm going to close that off. And I will adjust the scoreboard here to be for the rest of the San Diego-Denver game. Here we go. I will update this. Here we go. Update that. There's Denver. Add the 2 goals. Now I will adjust it for their opponent. Almost there. And there we go. And that should be 2-2. Let's see if that ends up being the case. Just want to make sure this is accurate. If anything's changed. Nope. It is 2-2 still. So I will now switch over to following that game. There we go. It's up and running. All right, the scoreboard on here is a little slower for me than it is on Google. So I am going to go synced up with what I've got. So let's see here. It's just crossed into the 65th minute. So now I will adjust it here. Almost there. All right. There it is. 64-31. I'm off by about 2 seconds, and I am just in time for a goal. Was that Dudinha? I believe it was Dudinha. What a comeback here by San Diego. Yep, that is a goal for San Diego here. An epic one there. So now we are looking at... See, why is that not updating on the screen? Should be. There it is. Got it. Oh, was okay. No, it's being credited to Carson Pickett of Denver as an own goal. The deflection went off of her. Yeah, Dudinha was near there, but they're attributing it as an own goal. Yeah, the seconds are actually lined up right against the thing here. So it's 66:08, 09. There we go. Okay, so it is running exact. That's great. So this has been wild because I was watching as I was setting up Denver's first second goal. So it was an impressive effort. But yeah, just I'm very shocked at how quickly this turned around in the second half for San Diego. They were clear their own standard before things finally started working out in their favor. I'm going to shrink the screen a little bit on it because there appears to be there's a reception issue here. So I was just trying to get an update because I missed a lot of stuff today. Genia tried to get something going, but ball ends up misplayed off an offside, and so Denver back in control. So so far you got a few upsets in brewing. The NBA, it looks like I was unaware that the Magic had gotten another win, took a 2-1 lead, or that the Knicks needed to win today just to level their series with the Hawks. Minnesota's got a 2-1 lead, and the Denver Nuggets are trailing by 2 at the moment. So definitely a legitimate surprise. So here we go. I'm genuinely curious with this live how much of it actually ended up working and how much it'll sound different in the recording once it comes up. Right, so San Diego now has ball in their backfield. Sonis was able to head it back into Denver's possession. Just gotta get that might be a foul. Dudinha, yep, a little too aggressive in pursuing the ball and sending Sonis over. They are doing some warnings on both sides. Right, there were so many stoppages on the thing that it actually ended up running behind. I'm genuinely surprised at how poor the reception right now is. But in any case, we are synced up at the moment. 70 minutes in. Looks like Sonis is going to be the one who kicks it in off the free kick. Goes up. It's like the boy whistle for early contact. Is that going to be another... Is that going to be another kick? Let's see. Yeah, no, they're having him re-kick it a little closer this time. A little too much contact early on. Sonis back into the box again. Ball still in. Ball ended up actually getting to the keeper, but she is able to pull it down. Rather than trying to kick it, she just chucks it to the left back, who is waiting right at the top of the box. We are 71 in. There is a sub window happening here. Denver looks like it's going to be doing 3, it looks like, at once. So, Melissa Kostler getting replaced by Olivia Thomas, 25 for 33. We've got Megan Reed, number 2, going out for Ava Gaetino, number 23. So, yeah, so that was Coster plays up front, and Reed is the center back. And I believe there was one other sub happening. It looked like there were 3 people coming off. So I will see if they post that in a moment. Yep, there it is. Devin Lynch, number 5, getting replaced by Emma Regan, number 8. Remember, you can have up to 5 subs, but only 3 sub windows. So if they're doing 3 all at once, that means if there are, unless they've used the other windows at some point, there's 2 subs left and 2 windows. So it's basically just 2 standard substitutions at this stage. Well, it's been a very dry atmosphere, so I'm applying some chapstick at the moment. We are being stopped for an injury. Another San Diego player hurt. I cannot identify them at the moment. All right, so they're showing some highlights here. So Kennedy Wesley picking up an excellent header earlier. I'm genuinely curious who's going to end up on the women's national team in a year, because it's always going to be a lot of people within this league, but it is going to be a curiosity. They got the women's national team coach here, Emma Hayes. We'll see what she's able to do with them here in the upcoming year. Obviously, the Men's World Cup happening in about 2 months. But we shall see what goes on beyond that. Here we go. All right, so once again, we're back in play. 75th minute. San Diego was trying to make something happen, but immediately a bad pass puts it back in Denver's hand. I will say, Denver, when they're trailing, they play a very spirited game. I'm just checking up on the other stuff we're seeing here. All right, here we go. Ludmila coming out for Gabi Portillo, 17 for 81. We have a sub window happening here with San Diego while there's been a lot of dead air. It makes sense. Once you're at the end of the stopping, if you want to do a sub, that would be a good time where it wouldn't be, where you're kind of extending it, but they're not going to call it injury time anymore. So here we go. Dudinha trying to kick it through. Sends it into the box, and nothing. Denver tries to kick it up. Ball ends up getting deflected. She knocks it out. And so now the Wave have control of it again. This time they're attacking third. Really good ball handling here. As they kick it up, the header ends up uncontrolled. Denver kicks it back. San Diego back in control. But the back line has been pressed back, so the formation is not anywhere near the net at the moment. And there's a interception of the pass. Once again, Denver back in it. Now, one thing I did want to mention as well, we do have 2 leagues of women's soccer. I haven't been bringing the other one up, but that league is about to enter its final weeks. To be exact, once this week concludes, they will have 3 weeks of games left. They right now only operate on a 4-team playoff. And at the given moment, only the top 7 mathematically have a chance of even being in it. So that might be something we'll talk about if I have a little bit of time. That might come in when I'm talking about the NWSL's happenings. But first, we have a free kick. Goes to into the box for Denver, but they're not able to generate a shot out of it. Ball just ping-ponged for a little bit before San Diego just sends it straight out of bounds. Throw-in goes back to Denver. They can't control the passes, though, and San Diego's back with the ball. Still in their defensive half. Ball going back to the defensive line as they appear to be in clock kill mode now. And here's the push-up. We're into the 80th minute. All right, Borginha's here with it. Tries to send it into the box. Ball gets deflected and rolls all very slowly out the other side of the field. Goes to the way it's oriented, the bottom side of the screen. And it's going to be a throw-in for San Diego, who is moving with zero urgency at all, as you would expect when you're up 1 with about 10 minutes and change to go. Ball kicked out again. We have a second throw-in. So Denver's going to have to pick some spots here. No way around it. They're going to have a coordinated attack here when they seize control of this ball, which here's an opportunity. But just as they're trying to string some passes together, it's immediately kicked out on a slide. Yeah, both teams here have been very much trying to prove themselves. Summit's defense so far had been really good, but this second half, they got a glimpse of what a legitimate contender looks like. And we do have a card coming. Gaetino sliding in on Dudinha. It's a yellow card, but honestly, the way this play was, I mean, it could have been red, but it was clear she was not going for hurting. So I do agree with the call that only be yellow, especially in a tense situation like this. Yeah, no one needs to be coming out of this game unless it's egregious. Foul called. It's going to be, once again, that was Denver trying to get control. Mascanina was basically tugging as they were turning. So it's a free kick to Denver. The backfield trying to start the play. Unable to materialize anything there. The kicks are a little weak right now coming as they start going into the midfield. Didinha launches it. Barcenas is able to pull it down, but it is very close to the goal line, and she's just walking it to the corner. She's kind of stuck with Sonis and now a second body pressuring her. She's able to pass it, though. So Ascanino again with the ball just outside the box. Once again, Barcenas with the ball. This time a little more space to move. He's trying to play ISO. Finally just lets the ball slip back. It's more possession holding at this point. Like, this is definitely killing time. Eventually, Yuna just has to kick it out on Denver's part, which forces a throw-in, but it at least gives them a chance to reapproach this play sequence. The throw-in leads to a contested ball, and it's a Denver throw-in. Here comes the throw. Trying to direct traffic. And Yuna gets control. Sends it over. Flint does a skip pass back to the D-line. Who send it careening forward. Now that ball went out on San Diego, but it was the result. But the way that she was pursuing the ball, she falls over with Ryan right behind her. So it is being called a foul on the part of Denver. So it's going to be a free kick to San Diego. So here comes the kick. So they were looking at the win probability. They're showing it here. San Diego Wave had a 4.9% chance of winning the match when they were down 2-0 going into the second half. And they now are well above 90%. So here we go. Sheehan with the ball for Denver. Running it up, sends it into the box. It's not able to be maintained. No shot able to materialize. Ball deflected. Ooh. Ryan had the ball. Actually had a chance to take a shot, but got way too much underneath the ball, and it just cleared the entire net. I think it might have gone into the crowd. This is a great takeaway on her part, too. She was nervous about the defender, so I think what she was trying to do was rapid. Oh, Natasha Flint coming off, and Yuzuki Yamamoto is in. We'll see what that does. Ball went out on San Diego, so it's a Denver throw-in. Yeah, they've used a couple sub windows here for Denver, so they think they still have the one more regular one. But they are running out of options. And crowd booing. They called a foul on Thomas for pulling down a San Diego player while contested. But I think, honestly, they're slipping on themselves. It's not really resembling an actual dirty play. It's going to be a San Diego throw-in. Throw ends up pretty cleanly going to Denver. Yep, ball's still hanging around. Denver sends it back. It's still in the middle third of the field. They're not able to control it, spinning off a defender, and so it'll be a throw into San Diego now, 86 and a half minutes into the match. And there's the throw. Bounces off the player. So Yamamoto ends up seizing it. Loses control, but now it goes into a back and forth. It's 50-50 right now. Ryan ends up catching control. Thomas tries to make a move, but as soon as she tries to turn with the ball, a San Diego player that is there immediately to kick it out. And this is mostly just to buy time, get more defenders back. Sonis with the ball. Not able to get control. Ball gets deflected out. This is a San Diego throw again. Yeah, very, very chaotic game here. Definitely been some good soccer to start the return from this break. We go. All right. Here we go. Portillo aimed with the ball for San Diego. Just runs past everyone. But loses control. She slips. Trying to stay ahead of the Denver players. Almost a chance for San Diego to expand this lead, but nothing doing. Now the ball is just being kicked hard. Rolled into the offensive third for Denver. But they're nowhere near it. Ends up having to go all the way back to the goalkeeper, who hurriedly kicks it out, and it's going to be a Denver throw-in. We'll see if they're fast enough to actually make something happen here. No, the coach tells them to slow it down, and obviously, honestly, that's probably the right decision right now, because they did not have the numbers. All right, Denver, another play here. The throw-in here in the 90th minute, now that it has begun. Probably the throw going directly into the box. Yep. Goes in. Header. It's a 50-50 ball again. Nothing towards the net, though. They keep coming down with the ball, but they're never facing the direction of the net where they could actually do something with it. Yamamoto launches it into the box. Goes past everyone. It was a good play there, but no one for Denver was in the spot to take advantage of it. Here we go. The pressure on here. 90 minutes in. Waiting to see what they add. It is going to be a San Diego throw-in after the deflections and a lot of ping-ponging with the ball. 5 minutes being added. San Diego is doing another 2 subs setup. And Ion is now doing picture-in-picture ads. Here, 30 seconds in to the 5-minute injury time. So we'll have to wait to find out who the subs were as we all watched Samuel L. Jackson. All right, so let's see who the 2 subs were. Leah Godfrey, who scored earlier, out for Jordan Fusco. Dudinha, who has been instrumental, replaced with Trinity Byers. That tells me this team is in more of a shutdown mode. Just don't let Denver get another opportunity to equalize this. So so I mentioned it earlier when so Kosler and Flint got the first 2 goals for Denver. Godfrey, Wesley, got the next two, and then Pickett gets recorded with an own goal, which has made the difference. And we do have a yellow card here, as Wesley gets knocked over for San Diego. A lot of bookings here. Trying to see who gets called for it. Joseva Gatina, which I thought she had been carded earlier, but that might have been a different player. Here we go, 92 minutes in, still 3 to play. And we have an injury. Denver player gets hurt. Which means we still have technically about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Comes 93 in, but that minute was basically not useful. So we'll see what actually is in place here. Once again, Portillo with the ball for San Diego. They're in the attacking third at the moment. After all of that, ball ends up in Denver's feet. They got to try to generate an offensive opportunity. They got to get control of the ball and press it up. But right now, San Diego is right where they want to be. Ball pinned as far from the opportunity to score as possible. And only about, potentially only a minute 10 to go. But this could easily extend to 2:10 because that minute did get eaten. Here we go. San Diego sends it all the way to their backs, who kick it straight out. There's going to be a throw-in. So Denver does get an opportunity to go on the attack now. 94-20. Here we go. They're kicking it up. It is still in play. They haven't let it get out yet. Once again, Ryan gets it. Yuna tries to get control, cannot maintain it. Stolen by San Diego, and once again, it is a full sprint. Just trying to eat time. 94-48. So we're coming to the end of this timer, but the question is, as the keeper catches it, keeps it in play, they are going to add some seconds, I would assume, but at most, I would assume 45 at most. Because I don't remember the exact second when the injury happened. But now here we go. Rasmussen Ryan again. Takes it. Oh! Is that going to be a goal kick or a corner? I could not tell if the goalie got a hand on it. It is a goal kick. That's why they're blowing the whistle. And that is enough. It was a great attack there, though, by Ryan. Fires it, but too much underneath. And again, you're seeing the expansion issue where the team doesn't know how to finish, and this is definitely going to be a learning experience for them, as San Diego is going to maintain, is going to allow them to maintain the lead for another week. We'll see what the standings look like beneath them. But they seem to be solidifying themselves as a prime contender for the Shield. With Portland and Angel City playing each other tomorrow, that winner will likely be their biggest challenger. with Seattle possibly being in that mix too, assuming they can execute against Utah like they should. In any case, we got some interesting stuff going on here. We will talk probably a good bit about this. I know we got Angel City coming up tomorrow, and that is going to be a broadcast here. As it is the team I actually support here, I will likely be on a little bit early, not only to go over lineup, but to just discuss just the excitement and everything going on in the league up to this week. So, yeah, we'll have some things to talk about. And, yeah, I hope you all will join me for that. That'll be a full-fledged broadcast. Again, apologies for the sudden change up on how we did this one. Rather than doing one match for 90 minutes, we did the second half of two matches running almost concurrently. But we should be ready for a very fun Angel City versus Portland game tomorrow. At least I am hoping so. It will. Anyway, it's got to be fun for someone. But until then, you all have a nice evening. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow.